Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at iOS 4 versus iOS 14. So, here they both are, and all I have to say is I am beyond blown away at how far we have come from this to this. It's insane at how far they've come, and just like the difference in the home screen, the difference in the home screens, the sizing, the layouts, the widgets, and whatever it is. It's so cool to go back and look back in time, essentially, of what we used to live with. So this is a second generation iPod Touch that my grandparents gave to me as they were cleaning out their house. And I personally have always been amused by tech, as all of you have known based off of my previous videos. But I never thought I would see the day of an iOS 4 running device again, as it's become so far different. It's so cool though at the same time. Like, this didn't even have cameras. No front facing, no back facing. I have four. I have 4 cameras on my phone. Like, it's just mind-blowing that 10 years ago we were all walking around with this in our pocket running iOS 4 on it. And now we're walking around with something that's triple the size of it. Like, it fits on my sticky wallet on the back of my iPhone. Like, that's insane. We're just gonna look at the home screen, so you can definitely tell these were run or created by 2 different people. Like, this was back when Steve Jobs was alive, and then this is what we are working with now, and it's entirely different. Like, you have skeuomorphism and making the apps look all 3D. Like, you even had YouTube on this by default. You had YouTube, you had the Apple Maps. No, you actually had Google Maps. You didn't even have Apple Maps yet. Like, it's just insane to look back at this and be like, this is what we lived with for so long. And like, everything looked 3D instead of all this flat. Like, personally, Apple showed us macOS Big Sur. I love that with the new app icons. While it does make the Mac similar to my iPhone, it also does show how Apple can make our iPhone apps 3D or 3D-like and incorporate skeuomorphism into our current design and make nomorphism, or whatever the hell they're calling it now, which is pretty cool. So with iOS 4, you didn't even have Siri. Nothing. But now, Siri doesn't even take up my whole screen anymore, which is pretty cool. And then you had the 3D app dock that allowed it to look like apps were sitting on a shelf. My apps aren't on a shelf, it looks like. They look like they're just on top of an outline, really, which is pretty cool. And even the folders, they changed up the folders. The folders, you could fit really however many apps you wanted to. Or actually, no, I think there was a limit of 9. And now you can fit as many apps as you want or need in a specific folder, which is pretty cool that you could do that. And also, just like looking back at this with how we used to like run with iOS 4, like we still had the old Safari layout. It's just insane that we started with this and comparing it to iOS 14. So there was no multitasking like on like how you would just swipe up now and close out the apps. You couldn't do that on this. It would bring you to Spotlight search. There's no app library, obviously, as that was an iOS 14 feature. There's nothing. There's no widgets on the home screen. You weren't even allowed to have a wallpaper on your home screen. It was just a black wallpaper. The only wallpaper you had was on your lock screen, the globe. Which, personally, I really like the globe. And then they added the raindrops with this update on iOS 4, which the raindrops is what everyone knows iOS 4 for. Were the classic raindrops on the lock screen and home screen. Which is, like, insane at now how they change color your wallpaper. You didn't have dark mode. Everything was white. Everything looked like this in 3D, which is just insane. That this is what we've started from. And this is where we're at now with our widgets on our home screen and our apps however we want them, and widgets over here instead of spotlight search, and app library, back tap. It's pretty cool that this is what Apple has brought us to. And just looking back at how we used to live, like the classic slide to unlock. Ooh, the classic slide to unlock with the click noise versus the swipe up now or the click on your home button. It's just insane. Like, you had YouTube, and you couldn't even have pages on this up until iOS 4. Like, you couldn't rearrange your home screen. Like, your home screen was stuck however you had it organized when you downloaded apps. Like, that's just how it was. And you didn't even have an app store until iPhone OS 2 or iOS 2, which is weird to think that all this stuff that we live with and are so accustomed to using, you didn't have a few years ago running on an iPod. Which is just mind-blowing to me that this is how far we've come. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.